Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Genesis reading from today has been continually studied, explained, and expounded upon since the 6th century BCE. But upon hearing the story of how God told Abraham to take the son whom he loved and offered him as a sacrifice, I still come away from it with a profound distaste in my soul. Frankly, I find it awful and barbaric. And that this was a test of Abraham's faith, well, it just doesn't sound like the God I know. And even though God did not, in the end, require Abraham to go through with this and provided a ram instead, and even though Abraham heard the voice of God and changed his course of action, I can't help but wonder about the trauma endured by all involved. Child sacrifice was not unheard of amongst the people of the ancient Near East. In Phoenicia, in Carthage, and yes, in Judah as well. It boggles our sensibilities today. How could someone worship or obey that which would demand the death of their loved one? What kind of society could even consider sacrificing the lives of their most vulnerable citizens? What desired result could possibly justify it? To appease some idol or demonstrate loyalty to some demigod? Many scholars believe that this passage of Genesis points to a shift in belief about human sacrifice. This shift differentiated descendants of Abraham from their neighbors who continued such practices. And although animal sacrifice continued until Jesus' day, other passages in Scripture reflect this evolving understanding about how to honor God. From Psalm 50, those who bring thanksgiving as their sacrifice honor me. Through the prophet Hosea, God says, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. And of course, from the prophet Micah, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And yet, Abraham felt that his faith was being tested by God. And so the question is still relevant today. What tests our faith? Our trust in God is certainly pushed to the limit during hardships. I know people who have wondered if God even caused what they were going through in order to somehow assess their devotion. This is the old hard question of theodicy. Why does God allow bad things to happen? A crisis is certainly a time when we rely on our faith and, in this way, sheds light on what we believe. But more often, I think, our faith is made known in our responses to more ordinary occurrences. Most of us will not confront one dramatic moment of great decision or some opportunity to perform a mighty, heroic deed. But we all have little choices to make every day in which we can respond from our values and from our knowledge and love of God. For most of us, tests of our faith look more like what Jesus described in our gospel this morning. In this reading from Matthew, Jesus affirms that the practice of welcome reaps rewards. Welcoming a prophet will grant a reward to the one who does so. And that can be a test of faith, because prophets often say hard things that we might not want to hear. And we are to welcome the righteous. But Jesus doesn't stop there. He says, you will be rewarded if you so much as give a cup of cold water to one of the little ones. That is, to those who cannot pay you in return. These too belong to God. Small actions of welcome to those who are known to us and to those who are strangers. And even small offerings, a cup of cold water, a smile, a greeting. These things make our faith visible. They reflect our worldview, our beliefs, and relationship with God and with our fellow human beings. I had a glimpse of God's heaven here on earth not long ago at Connecticut Hospice. A young aide was lovingly spoon-feeding oatmeal to a woman who, though sitting up, was still very weak. The sun was shining on the water of the harbor and shining into the room. But brighter still were the smiles on their faces. It was breakfast around God's banquet table, and I knew I was on holy ground. Small daily decisions to act from a place of hospitality, grace, and mercy, repeated consistently, both reflect and shape our character and faith. These habits of the soul can prepare us for the times when we are confronted with more momentous ethical questions. Who will we become as a society? What is our responsibility to our fellow human beings? Will we continue to sacrifice the vulnerable among us? Or can we sacrifice a little bit of our time and comfort on behalf of the vulnerable for Jesus' sake? Will we offer support from the abundance of our resources to relieve the sufferings of others? Or will we cause hardships to others so that we can have even more? We have before us many such questions. I pray that in the midst of it we can listen for the voice of God, that we can quiet the voices that compete for our attention, those that vie for our allegiance above the commandments of Jesus, those that seek to appeal to our baser nature, our fear, greed, or tribalism. Listen for the voice of God. Practice hospitality. For in these ways some have entertained angels unawares. In these ways, God's kingdom becomes visible. Let it be so. Amen.